Okay, so now let's introduce you to the dumbbell row, the one-arm dumbbell row, and the straight bar row. And for those of you who are beginners, I recommend that you use 2 dumbbells at a time when you do the dumbbell row. The only reason that you really want to move into a one-arm dumbbell row on each side individually is because you're a little more advanced, so you have some experience and you want to use a heavier weight. So then you would just use one arm at a time, which would allow you to stimulate more muscle fiber on each individual side. So first of all, we're going to talk about the dumbbell row. You're going to take 2 dumbbells in your hands, and this is important. The stance is important. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll bend over and put a lot of stress on their back. It's important that you keep that butt down. And it's almost like you're sitting on your heels. And then you get that dumbbell in place, and then again, we're using that saw motion. You're going to exhale up, because that's when you're lifting the movement when you pull. So exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Now remember, you always want to lift twice as fast as you lower the weight, and make sure that you keep that 90-degree angle with your elbow. That is an introduction to the 2-arm dumbbell row. Now if you're going to do a 1-arm dumbbell row, sometimes you can use a bench to support yourself, but in general you're going to keep this elbow, same side elbow on the knee, and then you're going to grab the dumbbell and you're going to keep the same motion I've been talking about. Drive up to the ceiling with that elbow. Exhale, inhale down. Exhale, inhale down. That would be a 1-arm row, which would allow you to go a lot heavier, okay, for those of you who have a little more experience. Now, let's talk about a straight bar row. Now, obviously, you can use a regular straight bar and add some weight to it, and I highly recommend that. It's going to be a lot easier for me to use a light one, so I can keep talking, and I can demonstrate better form. There's 2 ways to do this bent over row. The first way is to take an over grip. You want to keep about shoulder width grip, okay? Maybe a little wider. And then again, it's important that you don't bend over. You got to sit on those heels. And then the whole idea of this is to keep the same range of motion that I talked about in the intro video. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Now personally, I like using an under grip, which is the other grip that you're going to use. I find that I get a better range of motion, and I find that I isolate the back muscles a little bit more. Now, again, when you do this, sitting down on your heels, you want to be careful that you don't turn those wrists up and bring those biceps and forearms into the movement. You want to keep those wrists straight and just focus on driving with the elbows. Exhaling up, inhaling down. Exhaling up, inhaling down. And that is an introduction to the dumbbell row.